So why the delay then?
Well, Jeremy, it seems that post-mortem that the family was waiting for is actually only going to happen tomorrow, as well as DNA testing. Now, the results and that identification of that body will follow after that. But police are not able to give us a time frame. I've also left Phoenix, and I've brought you here now, Jeremy, to Sydenham. And this, the bus shelter that you see behind me, this is actually the last place that Miguel Louw was seen. And I think it's also important just to stress that point, that police are saying that although it's likely that that body belongs to Miguel Louw, they can't officially give a confirmation until they get those results and complete that DNA testing. But let me take you back a little bit. It's been about 7 weeks since Miguel Louw was seen here, and that was through CCTV footage which showed him in the company of a man who later became the accused in a kidnapping case. His name's Mohammed Ibrahim. You mentioned him in your intro as well. He lives, or used to live rather, in Phoenix, not far from where that body was found. Now, this area that I'm in is significant for this reason. Just across the road behind me, over this, just past this this barricade that you see, that's where Miguel's school is. And then to the left of me is that restaurant where Ibrahim was seen with Miguel buying 2 meals. And finally coming back to this bus shelter that I mentioned to you at the beginning. Now, this bus shelter was where a taxi was seen in that CCTV footage, but that has now remained a point of contention, and even in court last week when Ibrahim appeared for his bail application, and in that bail application he was in fact granted bail of 2,500 Rand. During that case, the state couldn't conclusively prove that he had in fact boarded that taxi with the child. And that, as the magistrate pointed out, was quite a huge flaw in their case, with him saying that until this point it's really just circumstantial evidence, because the defense is not disputing that Ibrahim was in the company of Miguel on the day that he went missing. And the point that is in debate now is whether he left home.
Desmond, very difficult for family and friends, and I guess for the community, because as you talk to us, we are seeing school children out of school, presumably now wanting to catch a bus home. This has hit everybody very hard.
Definitely. In fact, it's not just in this community, and this kind of activism and this vigilance has spread far beyond Sydenham. And in fact, we were recently in the Eastern Cape, and as we went down towards Port Shepstone in the south coast, the posters showing Miguel's face and offering that 50,000 Rand reward had reached as far as there, which means that even the message of this missing child had spread far and wide in KZN. If you look at social media and you look at the comments that are being made, and people now saying that they are looking at their children's safety in a new light, especially after Miguel's disappearance, it just tells you that this has really, really affected many people beyond the Louw family. As you'd imagine, it's affected them the most. We haven't been able to speak to them, and understandably so, they haven't been taking our calls since the aunt and other relatives went out to that scene yesterday, and they were quite distraught. And I imagine that this is probably the longest day of their lives as they wait for that post-mortem to be done and see if they can finally get some closure on this matter.
Desmond Tathia in Durban, thank you very much indeed. This is ENCA Now.